Ladies and gentlemen, I never thought it would come this quick. Well, it would come this quick, but it has. We have a sponsor, and it's Raid Shadow. I'm just kidding. I would love that to happen one day, but it's too soon. It's too soon. No Raid Shadow Legends sponsor yet. But what we do have is the round wrap up, which is the next best thing to Raid Shadow Legends. No, it's actually better than Raid Shadow Legends. So let's jump right into it. Alright, first game between the Swans and the Bulldogs on Thursday night. Quick recap. Well, it was just pretty much all the Dogs this game. The Swans tried to come back into the game with bits and pieces in the game, with patches in the game where they controlled the ball really well. But I feel the Dogs did much better in that category, and they just really wanted the ball more. They really showed the, what's the word? They really showed the fight pretty much to the Swans. They just wanted the ball more. They hunted it more. Their captain was inspirational on the night. Feel bad for Aaron Norton going down, but you know, what can you do in some stages of the game? Yeah, it was pretty much all the Dogs this game. They were the big talking point coming out of this game, and now that's their second win in a row. And now they've beaten both New South Wales teams, so they can hold their head up high. I didn't really think they would come out this way in this game. I thought the Swans would give them a bit for their money, but you know, the Dogs did what they had to do. They come back from Sydney with the win, and they can just go about their merry way into next week. And yeah, Bontempelli, what a gun. What a gun for the Dogs. He absolutely carried them this night. Well, there was a lot of contributors, but Bontempelli was, let's say, the main one. So yeah, well on to the Dogs. 28-point winners over the Swans. Collingwood versus GWS was the next game on Friday night, and oh boy, wowee. The Giants getting over the line by 2 points, 66 to 64 over the Pies. It was literally a recap of last year's preliminary final. As a Pies fan, it was really painful to watch. Collingwood had glimpses in the match, especially in the first quarter. Then the Giants pretty much controlled the ball for the second, third quarter, and a bit in the final quarter, like the first stages of the final quarter, the Giants controlled it. It's pretty much the same as the third quarter as well. The Giants controlled it for the majority of the first bit of that quarter, but then the Pies came storming back with, I believe, 3 or 4 goals. That could mainly be because Phil Davis did a hamstring injury, and I'm pretty sure so did Zach Williams. So the Pies were able to capitalize, well, weren't able to capitalize because they didn't get the lead, but came close to capitalizing. Then they were stopped by 3/4 time. And then the Giants kicked the most important first goal, well, not the most important, but the important first goal of the final quarter. Then it was hard for Collingwood to come back. They did come back. They came within a kick from Mason Cox, but just couldn't get the edge over the Giants, as the Giants were able to hold on and do what they needed to do, win by 2 points. Port Adelaide versus West Coast kicked off the Saturday games. It was a slow going start for both teams, but when Port Adelaide found their mojo, it was pretty much all steam ahead for them. They pretty much controlled the game once they started going, and Charlie Dixon, while he is an absolute unit, kicked 6 goals on the day. What a gun he's starting to become. He's the leader in the Coleman medal race right now. Of course, he used to kick 6 on the weekend. West Coast, what can we say about them? Definitely struggling. Again, I thought they were going to be the best in the hub situation, but they're turning out to not be the best in the hub situation, and they really need to find a win this week against the Swans if they can. Otherwise, they're going to be really struggling for the season. As we know, it's a shortened season, but good on Port Adelaide. They've really found their mojo this year, and I'm hoping that when they do come out of their hub, they can continue this momentum that they have. So let's see if that happens. Well done. Saints versus the Tigers was next, and boy oh boy, I did not think this would happen. So it turns out Richmond can be the same with Dusty Martin. It could just be a slow start, who knows, but the Saints absolutely responded from their belting against Collingwood last week, which is good. So it shows signs of maturity from the Saints to come out one week and get belted by a team, and then come out the next week and absolutely respond as good teams normally do. So that's saying the Saints are a very good team nowadays. They just absolutely controlled the ball more than Richmond did. They just had more possession than Richmond did. Richmond found it hard to get the ball back from the Saints, and the Saints just kept getting it out of the center and just pushing it forward, and their tall forwards knew what to do. Yeah, all the Saints players seemed to have the right cohesion on the day. They knew where to kick it to their full forwards and small forwards and etc. And the Tigers just found it hard to reply. There were little glimpses in the game where you'd say, okay, here we go, the Tigers are going to come back and win this game. But the Saints were able to halt the Tigers pretty much and get the game back onto their own terms. And yeah, so the Saints came out 26-point winners in Matty's match. Essendon versus Carlton was the first Saturday night game, and well, it was a very good game. Although a lot of people will say, but it was low scoring, it was a bit boring, blah blah blah. That actually rhymed. I'm proud of myself for doing that. Essendon almost had the game at the end. Jacob Townsend, he had a shot from 50 meters. He just couldn't make the distance. I believe it was someone's head who knocked it over the line for the Blues, Liam Jones, I think, and the Blues were able to hold on by 1 point. Again, it's miraculous. They've got 2 close wins in a row now, so their fans must just be running out of breath from these 2 weeks. But yeah, good showing from Carlton, although Essendon did have patches where they looked good, but Carlton did have patches where they looked great. So it's hard to say about this game. It was so low scoring and not a lot happened. It was more like it was one of those games where the team would get it and then kick it forward, and then it would be turned over, and then that would happen to the team who got the turnover. It was just a lot of scramble ball. At the start it looked like it was going to be a potentially good high scoring game, but then it sort of slowed down because there was so much tackling. There was so much stages where the ball was just in one area and couldn't get out. So it was pretty much one of those games. The Blues were able to hold on by 1 singular point. Yeah, and which is good. They were down at one stage of the game, I believe. The Bombers had a good lead, and then the Blues were able to come back. So well on to the Blues, 2 wins on the trot. Let's see if that momentum continues. Gold Coast versus Freo was the last Saturday night game, and this was an absolute ripper. It was good to see Fremantle actually pushing the Suns, because we all thought the Suns were going to come out and absolutely dominate the Dockers. But it was good to see that the Dockers actually put up a fight against the Suns, which they really did, including up to halftime. I believe it was a draw at like 3/4 time or halftime, so they were really, really pushing the Suns into the final quarter. There was a bit of biff in this game at halftime. Boy, oh boy. I think there was like, $3,000 of fines given in total from the halftime scuffle that happened. Yeah, it was just very good to see that the Dockers pushed the Suns, but the Suns came out on top, which, shows good signs for them. That's 3 in a row in Queensland, so it's good to see that they're taking advantage of getting all these home games in Queensland, which they should be doing. Matt Rowell, absolute unit, gun. The Suns are now second on the ladder. I didn't see this coming, but it's happened, and they have beaten the Dockers by 13 points in this match, so good on them. And there was a passage of play where Matt Rowell just absolutely just brushed aside Nat 5. And I never thought I'd see that happen, but it happened. And I was like, okay, this is the player I love now. I'm in love with him. My eyes are just all on Matt Rowell right now. That's it. I'm locking eyes on him forever. Brisbane versus Adelaide kicked off the Sunday games, and Adelaide did put up a fight. There was a stage in the game where they were coming back, where they got the margin to a really small margin, but then Brisbane came out in the final quarter and absolutely dominated the final quarter. They really revved up the engine, gave it a little Charlie Cameron rev up, you know what I'm saying? And they were able to beat the Crows by 37 points. It was still good to see the Crows put in a bit of a fight. They may have got away with a few free kicks here and there, but hey, what can you do? So the Crows definitely put up a fight, but the Lions were able to halt them in the final quarter to win this game by 37 points, still without Dane Zorko, and it's still good to see them also taking their opportunities with these home games in Queensland. And yeah, now they've won 3 on the trot. So it'll be interesting to see how they go next week. And then especially the week after. I don't know if they'll be playing Collingwood and Victoria, but we'll see. They've got 2 opportunities to say coming up in the next 2 weeks. The Sunday evening game between the D's and the Cats. Well, let's say this. It was a very topsy-turvy game, I guess. The D's had the lead at quarter time, then it looked like all the Cats, then the D's had a little fight back, then it was the Cats again, and then the final, well, it looked like the Cats were going to get away with it in the final quarter. They looked like, okay, they've got a, 10 point lead or something like that, and then the D's started to roll back and roll back and roll back into the game. They got it within a kick and just couldn't get it. Adam Tomlinson, I believe, was the one who missed, and then it was game over, and the Cats were able to hold on by 3 points at the MCG. Good to see the Demons put in a good old-fashioned fight here and not give up and get it 2 within a kick. It just always seems to be when a team is coming back and they get it within a kick that the good teams, per se, cannot get the final goal in. And, you know, in fairness, you know, they're chasing all the game. They're trying to get back the lead. They're trying to win the game in the final minute. And it's a lot of pressure to do, especially when the other team is playing a pressure of themselves, trying to make sure you don't score that winning goal. And the Cats are a good team. They've got a good defense, so I'm sure they would have practiced that. And yeah, so the Cats came away with a 3-point win over the Demons. Final game of the weekend saw the Hawks take on North Melbourne. There were stages in this game where the Hawks absolutely looked like they were going to blow it out of the water, but North Melbourne, to their credit, actually stuck in, and in the final quarter they almost won the game. I feel like I'm repeating it, but it's literally what happened. Yeah, they were down by 31 points or 25 points at one stage, and then they kicked bloody 4 goals in a row, I think it was. Almost kicked 5. Curtis Taylor, I feel so bad for him. He's had winning chances left, right and centre. Just couldn't get them over the line. This one, though, looked like it was going in. It was like, North are going to win this game somehow. It hits the post and the Hawks were able to hold on. Unfortunate. They didn't look happy with the win, the Hawks. And, you know, in fairness, they were up by 25 points. And they just couldn't win the game. I was watching it live and my god, I was going off my head when North Melbourne were coming back into the game. I couldn't believe it. And then I had to come back to reality that the Hawks were going to win, which is really disappointing. I don't even go for North Melbourne, but to see a team get so close and just fall short at the final hurdle, that really hurts. But hey, Hawthorn were able to hold on by 4 points. North Melbourne almost had it with the Jai Simpkins snap at the end, but it just went through the left point and goalpost. And that's unfortunate for North Melbourne, but they couldn't get the chockies, eh? So there we go. That is the round 4 wrap-up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Trying to push out more content this week. We'll see what happens. So yeah, cheers guys for watching, and I'll see you later.